everybody. Welcome to Curing, Conquering, Managing Your Bipolar Disorder membership website. Thank you so much for trusting me with your time and your faith and your trust, really. What will be in this program? Well, I'm going to describe to you exactly how I managed to conquer my bipolar disorder, so that not only do I manage to have lived with it, but how I managed to be able to put myself in a position where I was able to live the life of my dreams, have an amazing family, have happy circumstances, a great work-life balance, be physically fit, just have everything I wanted in life and become quite successful in many different ways, and in ways that are aligned with my values as well. So what can you expect during this program? Well, each month there'll be additional new content added that you've not been able to see before, and the idea is to, as the months go by, that you get more and more confident and you put things into action in ways that I'm going to help you empower yourself so that you can manage your bipolar, overcome it, and eventually conquer it and even cure it. Now, you're going to have to take massive action in lots of areas. What kinds of things will we be going through? Well, we'll be looking at ways that you can sleep better, ways that you can take responsibility from your life and take action, ways that you can stop procrastinating so that you actually get on and do things instead of daydreaming about them, ways to reprogram your subconscious mind, your superconscious mind, ways to look at how you can improve exercising, looking at exercise and seeing how important that is to empowering yourself and looking after your health, other strategies to self-improvement so that you can live the life that you want to live. Why am I in a position to do this, and who am I? Well, my name is Jason Pegler, and I've experienced bipolar disorder for a very, very long time. I'm a former bipolar sufferer now, but life was very different for me. In 1992, I was submitted to a psychiatric ward in Coney Hill Hospital in Gloucester, and I was in a psychiatric ward for 6 months. For 6 weeks I thought I was playing a computer game, and I was the only person in the world playing this computer game, and I was convinced that I was playing this computer game, but I was in a psychiatric ward. So what happened? Well, after 6 weeks I thought that I was playing Football Manager, this computer game, but it didn't quite make sense. Then I had an epiphany. Oh my God, I'm in a psychiatric ward. What am I going to do? Well, the only way I can get better is to psychoanalyze myself, create a Hollywood blockbuster movie, and somehow be the successful Jason Pegler that I thought I was going to be. And at the same time I thought, and I have to stop the humiliation that everyone else feels for being in here as well, because oh my God, I'm in a loony bin. Up until then, being in a loony bin had been just a joke with me and my friends. So that was at the age of 17. Then in May 1993, so when I was 18, the day before I left, I'd been in a psychiatric ward for 6 months. They said, "You've got manic depression." I'd not really heard of it before. I kind of knew that famous artists might have had it, like Van Gogh or something. I said, "Will it happen again?" They said, "I don't know. There's a 95% chance that it will, but it may or may not." So I went through some counselling, and to cut a long story short, I never really got over the humiliation of living with the manic depression. My tendency was to go really high and then low for double the amount of time. What happened between 1992 and 2000, I spent over a year in psychiatric wards. I had 4 different manic episodes, and I was 2 years suicidal. And I never really dealt with manic depression. I kind of half faced up to it a little bit. I went back to school, finished my A-levels, and I was a year behind, even though I hadn't failed any exams, and that really kind of knocked my confidence in a bit. I ended up going to university, to Manchester University, and graduated with a 2-1 in classical studies. But along the way, I had 2 episodes there, and was in missed a year of university. So it took me 4 years to complete university again. But although I didn't fail in any exams, and I went high just before I finished, and then I moved to London in 1999 to do a postgraduate degree in journalism, and then I cracked up again soon after that course. So all in all, I had 4 different psychiatric admissions, 2 years suicidal, and I never really faced up to it. Then I had a kind of beginnings of really got into personal development quite a lot in the year 2000. My last psychiatric admission was April to June 2000. So that is a long time ago. And writing, when I wrote A Can of Madness, my autobiography, I started it in 1998, just wrote for 2 weeks, but then didn't write anything for 2 years. And then I started writing it again in October 2001, and it came out in April 2002. Writing that saved my life. It helped me face up to who I was as a human being. It drew a line in the sand and empowered me, and I managed to set up Chipmunker Publishing, a mental health publishing company. It was a way of me for making a living, and it was also cathartic because I was helping other people and learning about the bipolar as well. So this was something that was really quite useful. But around about the same time, I really got into personal development, and I read Anthony Robbins' Unlimited Power, and it blew my mind. It just gave me so much hope that I could change things. So even then, I was reading a lot of business books and autobiographies from famous people that were inspiring me and things like this. But I really got into that personal development. I got into other books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. I was studying the greatest entrepreneurs in the world as well, like Richard Branson, Bill Gates, even Steve Jobs then. And I was really getting into all this personal development kind of things. And then I was getting better all the time. But then in 2005, I went to Tony Robbins again, and it blew my mind. And I managed to come off all the psychiatric medication over a period of a few months in liaison with my psychiatrist. And haven't looked back. I've been off the medication since. I have sleeping tablets very rarely, every now and then. But a lot of people do. But I've been off all the psychiatric medication. Please, if you're listening to this, make sure that you take advice with any medical professionals or whatever. But I'm going to share with you all the techniques that I've developed since the year 2000. So that is a long time. I'm going to share with you all those techniques. And if you follow these techniques as well, and I guarantee that if you follow these techniques, then you will feel better about being diagnosed with manic depression, and you'll be able to do something about it and really actually use it to your advantage so it can help you in the world, believe it or not, as crazy as it sounds. First, you need to understand that manic depression is a really serious condition, okay? But on another level, it is a social construct. So what you experience, okay, or people have to come up with a label and call it something, otherwise there'll be anarchy. So, and psychiatry comes up with a label and calls it manic depression. They don't really know what it is. And to say that you have something for the rest of your life and that you're going to be inferior for the rest of your life, it is, in my view, it's a lie. Even if it isn't a lie, there's no proof. They've never been able to prove all of these things with your brain. You can change the biochemistry in your brain by exercising, by getting more oxygen in your lungs. If you're really physically fit, then you will be a happier person. That's absolute guarantee. That's fact. What I'm saying is, even if it was true, which I don't think it will ever be, they can't say that people with bipolar disorder, there's something wrong with their brain, because you can change your brain chemistry, okay? Even if it was true, it would be unfair to say that to people, that there's something wrong with you for the rest of your life. Surely, in life, we have to focus on the positive things and what can make us successful and what can make us the best that we can possibly be. This is what this membership website is all about. It's a place where you can privately go and just learn and listen and memorize and try techniques on the best possible information. I'm someone who has been well for a very, very long time, and I've also been helping people with mental illness since the year 2001 as well, every day, and that has actually been helping me. A lot of people that would just break down and just knacker them out completely. It doesn't do that with me because I can pump myself up with so much personal development, positivity, and all these techniques that I'm going to share with you. So what can you possibly do to improve your bipolar disorder? First, you have to change your mindset. Okay, you really have to change the way that you view yourself. So if you view yourself in the present tense, I am a bipolar sufferer, I have manic depression, where is that going to get you in life? It's not really going to get you anywhere. You have to change the psychology of how you view yourself. You have to change your own identity. So give yourself a better identity. So if you just start calling yourself, I am a former bipolar sufferer. I used to have bipolar disorder. Now I'm managing it. I used to have bipolar disorder and I'm intend to overcoming it. I'm overcoming my bipolar disorder. I'm conquering my bipolar disorder. I have cured my bipolar disorder. If you can say these kinds of things to yourself, then that's one of the hundreds of strategies that can really help you to see yourself in a better light. Now, you can write this down in the present tense. That's one way of doing it. You can say it to yourself in the morning when you wake up, and you can say it to yourself when you go to sleep at night, because then it will plant in your unconscious mind while you're asleep. I recommend all three of these techniques, okay? So please, please, please be the kind of person that when you listen to this program, that you do the exercises as well. So if at any stage you feel that you need to just stop me, that's absolutely fine. Stop me and take notes and write things down. From time to time, it may be that I'm there for you to just say, stop, this is really, really important. But I expect you to use your own initiative. Now, this is another very, very key must that you have to do. You have to use your initiative if you want to cure your bipolar disorder. If you want to get over it fully, you have to have that mindset. You have to have that belief as well. But first you've got to show the initiative, okay? So you've got to get off your backside and you've got to tell yourself that you're going to get over it. Then you have to have the belief, okay? So you really, really, really have to believe. You can just have like an idea and say, oh yes, it would be nice to cure it. Life does not work like that. You really have to pump yourself up. So you have to change completely your belief system. If you think that, if you've got people who are telling you that you're never going to get better, you're never going to get a job, things like this. So just close your eyes for a moment. If you're driving, obviously don't, but just, stop me for a minute if you have to. Just close your eyes for a moment and just imagine a time where you proved that you could do something where previously you couldn't think that you do it. So that's it. Imagine a time when you never thought you'd be able to achieve something, but you actually did. And I'll just stop me there for a moment. Okay, excellent. So you found a moment, okay? Please, 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 if you haven't, please stop me again and find a moment where you've managed to show how you've been able to do something you never thought you would be able to do. Excellent. Okay, so you found one way. This is the way that you have to view your manic depression, your bipolar disorder. I recommend calling yourself a former bipolar sufferer. That doesn't mean to say that you stay awake for the next 10 days and you go get drunk and start celebrating. Okay, that's the complete opposite of what I want you to do. Okay, so what I'm saying is you just have to change your mindset that, where we focus on in life is where we end up. So if you call yourself a former bipolar sufferer and that is the beginning of the ultimate recovery. It's not just a recovery. I just don't want you to get to the stage where you think, well, I'm out of hospital. I've been out of hospital for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, and I don't think I'll get back in, and I'm still on lots of medication, and I haven't got a job, and I'm socially excluded, and I don't really have a girlfriend. Or a boyfriend. I don't want you to be in that position. Okay, this whole program is designed to make you feel like you can achieve your destiny. This is what it's all about, okay? So you've got to raise your standards, you've got to raise your belief and really push yourself to believe in that you can utterly cure your bipolar. So let's try another exercise now, okay? So if you're driving or whatever, just stop what you're doing. Okay, now what I want you to do is close your eyes and just say to yourself an incantation of so I'm a former bipolar sufferer, and say this 10 times. I'm a former bipolar sufferer. I am 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 a former bipolar sufferer. It's a bit of a tongue twister as well. Okay? Now you've said that to yourself, I want you to celebrate, okay? I want you to just scream with happiness. Woo! Yes. Okay, we're starting to feel this. We're starting to feel this, that we can cure our bipolar. Or we already have, because we're former bipolar sufferers, okay? Now, I would say you have taken the first of the 1,000 steps necessary to make that a reality, okay? Now, we're going to be doing all of them through this membership program, okay? But it's up to you. If you ever feel you doubt yourself at any time, then go through those exercises again, okay? So feel free during this membership site to go back and complete any of these exercises again. You may just want to realize that you can get better, okay? Another strategy, did you know how good laughing is for you and smiling? Of course, I mean, we all do, but if you actually try it, then it makes a huge difference. It makes an absolutely massive difference, okay? So we're going to try this, okay? So I want us to smile. Let's force ourselves to smile for 10 seconds, and then it will turn into a natural smile. Let's try this. Actually, the next step is I've already started doing it, is to laugh. So let's laugh out loud for 10 seconds. Oh, now I'm just smiling anyway. So, did you know that when you smile, you use 50 muscles in your face? When you frown, you use 16. So, the more you smile, the more energy you're using, the more oxygen you're getting into your lungs, the more in a peak state you're going to be. So throughout this program, you're going to hear a lot about being in a peak state. Okay, so one thing I want you to do from today onwards, okay, is just the way you walk down the road, wherever you are walking for the next 24 hours, okay, and then day after day after day, just change your physiology, the way that you walk, okay? So I was leaning back a bit there, so I'm actually going to lean a bit forwards a bit and get myself in a peak state as well. Okay. So what's really, really important is that the straighter you are and the more upright you are, when you're walking around and even when you're sat on the sofa, don't slump on the sofa, just sit upright. You'll find yourself in a more peak state. You'll find yourself in a happy mood. If you find yourself a bit glum walking around, just look up in the sky, just look up in the air, and you'll find it's almost impossible to feel depressed if you just look up into the air. It's unbelievable what difference this makes. Now, to really feel aligned and to cure our bipolar once and for all, obviously it makes us feel really good about ourselves. So I think it's a nice thing to do. It really definitely is a nice thing to do when you walk down the road, why not just try smiling at 10 people in the next 24 hours? just smiling at people and see if one person can smile back at you. Because then what you're doing is you're not only improving your own happiness, but you're sharing happiness with someone else. And that is really a great thing to do in life. But if you're nice to other people as well, you'll find that your own suffering becomes less. Because I believe in the universe and some kind of God, whatever it is. And even if we don't, it's still a nice thing to do. From a humanitarian point of view, it's a nice thing to do. So share a bit of love with some other people that you don't know and just smile at them. Another great way to stop self-manifesting about your bipolar disorder and getting trapped in a negative mindset and all kinds of these things, try and jump out of yourself for a moment, okay? So what do I mean by that? Well, if you spend 1 hour in the next week, okay, spend 1 hour in the next week with a complete stranger that you don't know and try and help them. It could just be a homeless person on the street, just having a conversation with them and taking them for coffee, or just staying with them and talking to them. It may be somebody at work that you don't know very well if they say they're a bit down, or just try this exercise. It is amazing. What it does is it takes your thought processes away from yourself and makes you look at other people. So it's as though you kind of step out of the ego and live your life in a more state of flow. You really can get to this stage. A great example reference here is The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle. I read that book in 2001 or something. That had a massive influence as well. So there's another good reference for you. Think as well, what difference can you make to the world? How can you make the world a better place in some way? Even if it's just something very simple like making sure that you're environmentally friendly and you do your recycling. So you find if you feel connected in the world to some way, that you're making the world a better place in some way, then that is part of what makes us happy and part of one of our deep psychological needs that makes us happy, making a contribution to the world. Okay, what else could you possibly do that could help your bipolar disorder? Well, stop procrastinating. What do I mean by this? Well, stop putting things off. Stop being a tomorrow person. Stop being someone who only thinks about someday I'll, as Brian Tracy calls it, okay? So what I mean by this is, if you can imagine, let's say you've got 5 things to do today, and one of them you've been putting off for months and months and months. Well, do that first. Get started with that first, and the rest of the day you'll get more done. You'll feel like if you've achieved more, the other things will become easier. You might not get it completed in one day, but you can certainly get steps to reaching that goal and getting it done every day. Another thing that really helps, I find, is you've got to get your life organized. So many people with bipolar disorder just have no organization whatsoever. They just kind of daydream and this kind of thing. You need to start setting yourself goals and writing them down every day, and do it on your phone. That's the easiest way, because you've always got your phone on you, right? Just type it in a notes section and set yourself goals every day. You can change your goals whenever you want, and then if you haven't done them that day, then the next day you write some new ones. You might write some ones that you've already done. So this has a massive impact on how much you can achieve during a day, and of course the more you can achieve during each day, the more your confidence grows. One huge thing with people who suffer from bipolar disorder is that they get trapped in a negative mindset. Okay, so what they do is they think, oh, I can't do this, or can't do this, or can't do that. Now, one thing that you really want to do is to just snap yourself out of this mindset, okay, and just start improving your self-talk. So give yourself a positive self-talk, saying, yes, I can do this, yes, I can do this. You have to reprogram your mind. There's so many ways to do it. Yes, I can do this. And this is why also exercise is really good, because if you exercise every day, it's like even as soon as you wake up, or early in the morning, or even at night, if you're saying you don't have the time, whatever, then make the time. You really have to exercise, okay? Now, what I find is for people with bipolar disorder, it's better exercising during the day because you can exercise at night and it can send you a bit hyper. So try and exercise early on if you can, but some exercise is better than no exercise. And do the exercises that you enjoy. What kind of exercises do you enjoy? Whether if it's football or going down the gym or going for a walk, whatever it is, do something. Just do something. Going for a walk, a 15-minute power walk. Walk as fast as you can from the house. Walk 7.5 minutes, and then walk 7.5 minutes back. Just walk as fast as you can and as fast as you can back. Okay, that is like a great walking strategy. Okay, so what else can you do to really improve your mental state? Well, let's go back to this positive self-talk. This is really important. You need to talk yourself up and not be embarrassed, not be humiliated about what you've experienced in the past. And so you need to see yourself as equal. Take solace in the fact that there's so many famous people with bipolar disorder all over the world. There are celebrities all over the world, people who've just been so successful in the history of the human race that have bipolar disorder. There are literally thousands of people with bipolar disorder who've been a mega success over the years, okay? And you're going to be one of them if you follow all these steps on this program, okay? Okay, this is the plan, this is the strategy, this is what I'm really getting at, okay? So you really want to look at some strategies. Really important. What is the most important thing for someone with bipolar disorder, do you think? Sleeping properly. You have to sleep properly. It's so tempting to not sleep very much, and then you feel a little bit high, a little bit hyper, then you get carried on, and then you just get higher and higher and higher, and then before you know it, what you're saying doesn't really make sense, and bang, you've relapsed. Okay, so you really different people have different limits, okay, but you want to make sure that you don't beat yourself up, okay, if you don't have as much sleep as you planned, but just try and get 7 to 8 hours sleep if you can. If you can live off 5 or 6 or even 4, then be careful, okay. Try and make it a bit longer. What strategies can you use to increasing the amount of sleep? Okay, there's lots of strategies. Tire yourself out during the day, so don't sit in front of television. Okay, tire yourself out by doing a lot of exercise. Stop watching so much television, especially before you go to bed. Stop watching the news and reading horrible news stories. Stop reading newspapers altogether, or just read the sports section or the arts section or something. Okay, stop reading negative news. It is absolutely not surprising that people can't go to sleep because they're worried about what's going on in the world. There's actually lots of amazing things going on in the world, so be one of the people that makes your own news. So even if you use Twitter or Facebook, start following people who are happy, who are saying happy things. Get into personal development. Get into positive thinking, positive role models. If you're more spiritually inclined, get into a bit of meditation, okay? Now, other strategies for sleeping better. What else can you do? Well, cut out the fizzy drinks. Stop drinking Coca-Cola. Stop drinking too much sugary foods. Stop being addicted to caffeine, tea and coffee. No to chocolate in the afternoon and the evenings. Don't drink a cup of tea or coffee before you go to bed. It's obvious you're not going to be able to sleep. Caffeine stays in your system for 14 hours. A lot of these things are common sense, but you're going to prove to yourself that instead of just stopping for 1 or 2 days these habits, you need to bully yourself. You've told yourself you're a former bipolar sufferer, so now you're going to have to follow through and make sure that you're the kind of person that's going to deliver and make yourself better. Okay, another thing, what else can you do to stop yourself sleeping? Got you there. Okay, you need to sleep all the way through, okay? So you have to change your self-talk. So how can you do this? Well, you can hypnotize yourself to sleep better. You can even record yourself on video and say, I'm going to have a great sleep tonight. I'm sleeping 7 hours, and then watch yourself. If you find that that's a bit, you're a bit worried about seeing yourself on film or something, then just go buy Paul McKenna, I Can Make You Sleep, the CD, okay? It is fantastic. That will help you get sleep at night. That helped me for a long time, for years. There's exercises in there. There's lots of techniques that you can use for going to sleep, getting back to sleep, and all these kinds of things I can discuss in more detail throughout the program. We can do exercises, okay, if you feel like a bit shy of doing it on your own. Okay, what else is there that you can help cure your bipolar disorder? Well, there's so many things that we're going to be discussing. It's unbelievable. It's endless. I'm going to take you through my journey of strategies that I used, and then look at how these can help you. Okay. Now, it's really, really important that we've had a little go at changing our self-talk. We've had a little go at calling ourselves a former bipolar sufferer. We've done a bit of incantations. We've realised the importance of physiology and smiling and sleeping well. What other strategies can we use in order to feel fulfilled as a person? Then it's really important that we know what our values are in life. Now you might say, what is Jason talking about here? Now, have you ever written down what your most important values are in your life? Because that can make a massive difference, okay? So we can go through exercises when we do that later on in the program, but let's just do a little one now, okay? So imagine, let's have your top 5 values, okay? So I'll just do 5 off the top of my head to give you an example, okay? So my 5 most important values are, at the moment today, and these kinds of things can change daily as well, so don't feel like you've written it and it has to stay like that forever. So you can change them whenever you want. So mine today at the moment are, well, what would I say? Helping people, family, happiness, fitness, and relaxation. So they're my 5 today. Okay. Now, why don't you just stop me and come up with your 5 now? Come up with them in any order, and then you can order them 1 to 5 afterwards. Excellent. So you have 5 values. Now, if you've never done that before, that will really start getting your brain ticking. I know it will get your brain ticking. If you've done it already, then look, you're doing it again, and it will be different than the last time you've done it, I guarantee. So it's a really, really useful exercise. I recommend during this program that you do that once a week during the first month and see what happens. Okay. So, what else is there? How else are we going to cure the bipolar disorder suffering once and for all? Well, there's so many ways, and it's really, really exciting that we can, go through this kind of experience together and share this experience together. But you're really going to have to deliver, okay? You're really going to have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. This is one thing that's really, really important as well. In order to get to the stage where you feel that you've completely recovered, you're going to have to push yourself and stretch yourself out of your comfort zone. You have to feel that you're worthy as a person, and this is going to be tough for some people, but you're going to have to stop feeling sorry for yourself, okay? You're going to have to stop feeling sorry for yourself. You're going to have to take responsibility for your life, okay? Not your mum, not your dad, not your partner, not your friend, not something that happened to you 5, 10 or 15 or 20 years ago that defined your life. Now, you might have had a terrible experience. Do not let that experience define you. You've got to break out of it and focus on the positive and focus on the present and the future. So you want to visualize a happy self. Now, imagine that we've passed away and we're in heaven, okay? And an alien comes up to us and says, "Where are you from?" We say, "Excuse me, what planet are you from?" "Oh, hi, I'm from Earth." "Oh, really? You're from Earth. What did you do on Earth?" "Excuse me, what contribution did you make on Earth?" What are you going to say? You're not going to say, "I had manic depression, I didn't do anything." Come on, you're better than that. You're a former bipolar sufferer, okay? So think about what contribution you can make in the world to making a difference in the world. Go back to your childhood, whenever you had a dream. Go back to the dream that you had, a dream that you really, really want, something that you've been daydreaming about that you really, really want to do. Okay? Now, how long does that take to achieve? Does it take 1, 3, or 5 years? Decide now, okay? Decide what this dream that you've always wanted, that you've never had the guts to go for it or to follow it through. Stop me now and come up with that one dream. Excellent, excellent. So you've got a motivation, and what you say to yourself, you can achieve this dream by curing your bipolar disorder, okay? And does this dream take 1, 3, or 5 years, okay? And be realistic there, and you really need to push yourself to follow the momentum to get yourself to achieve this dream, okay? And we're going to stop me again, and we're going to come up with 20 ways in which how you can achieve that dream, okay? Excellent. I hope that really, really helped, okay? It's really, really important that you come up with those 20 exercises, okay? So this isn't just a passive listening program where you're just going to watch something and be totally hypnotized and then that's it. You've got to come through and push yourself to be better. And you see now what's happening, instead of calling yourself, oh, I've got bipolar disorder in your head, you're thinking, hey, I've got this dream I'm always going to do, and it's going to take me just 1, 3, or 5 years, and I've got 20 ways of how I'm going to do it. Now, why don't you focus on this before you go to bed at night? Read it out loud and write it down. Okay, read it out loud to yourself. You've got it written down, and write it down again so you actually take it in. Try that. The difference between just reading it before you go to bed and writing it down can make quite a difference. It might take a bit of effort, but it really, really will make a huge difference, because you're going to do two things. By writing it down, you're learning it more, okay? And then by doing it late at night and saying it, you're going to remember it more. But by doing it late at night, as soon as you go to sleep, then it's going to start, the thought processes you're really alert, and it'll start going into your sleep. So it will go into your subconscious mind, your superconscious mind when you're asleep. And you should find that really, really useful. Then the trick, when you wake up in the morning, what are you going to do? Well, try this exercise out. This exercise, I've done this for a long, long time, okay? I did this every day for years. This is great. Okay, so as soon as you wake up in the morning, okay? Now, even if you got little kids, then get them to come with you if they're old enough, okay? So normally if you have to wake up for the kids, and like it's like, oh, okay, I know. I've got to. Okay. So just run into the bathroom, okay? Look in front of the mirror and start smiling and start laughing for 5 minutes, okay? Okay? Then get yourself in a peak state. So just jog on the spot for 30 seconds, okay? Just race on the spot for 30 seconds. Okay, like this. As fast as you can for 30 seconds. Okay? And then close your eyes and imagine this goal that you've set yourself, okay? But first, before you imagine the goal, I want you to come up with 3 statements that make you feel great. So I'll give you 3 examples, okay? So I'm the greatest, I love the world, I love my family. I'm the greatest, I love the world, I love my family, okay? Okay, excellent. So just stop me now so you can come up with the 3. Excellent. Now once you've done that, you're going to walk in. So you'll stand in front of the mirror, and then you're just going to walk, make sure that you've got enough room so you can take a step forward. So you're going to say that your 3 statements, and then you're going to walk nearer to the mirror and take a step. And then you're going to visualize that you've achieved your goal that you set out in 1, 3, or 5 years' time, and how great that feels. Then you're going to smile again, and then you're going to celebrate, and then you're going to go, yes, 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 5 times, okay? Yes, 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 yes. Okay. That will get you so pumped up for the day. Guarantee if you do that every morning, you'll wake up the next day and you'll try and be depressed and you won't be able to, because you'll have pushed that into your subconscious mind. I guarantee that. You do that every day for a month, and the shifts that you make in your mind and how you view yourself will just make a huge difference. If you learn one thing from this episode of me speaking, please learn that and do that exercise. You do all the exercises, you'll be in a peak state. If you do that one alone, then you'll feel 10 times better. Okay? This is Jason, over and out. Look forward to hearing you. You look forward to hearing me in the next episode. Okay, take care.